The meeting of the Curtis Valley School District board is now in order. You stand and join the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Well, nice to see everybody tonight. It's a miserable night. Better to stay home in front of a fire. But we have business to do. So, first order of business is to approve our meeting minutes from our regular meeting of February 26th, 2024. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. Get the minutes.
I'll second it.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's not a bad idea. Okay. Are you there? Okay. Any additions or corrections to those minutes? Are the bills on it? Okay, not hearing of anything. So all those in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye. It sounded like all were. Any opposed? What I thought. It's unanimous. We'll now have a motion, if you will, to adopt tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
Great.
I'll second.
Thanks, Mike. Any questions about it or additions or things you want taken out? All right. All those in favor of adopting tonight's agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It also passes. Spotlight on success. Aha, here they are. High school. Forks High School is a spotlight. That's why Brenda was so smiley when she was coming down the hall.
That's great. I want to say thank you for having us here.
Can you move over that way a little bit?
Yes, I would love to.
Thank you. That's good. That's good.
This is good right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I have BLT representatives here with me tonight. I have Shelly Castellano, Carol Vanderveer, Tammy French. This is half of our team. The staff at Forks High School, the BLT has been working really, really hard to make great things happen for our students here this year, and we're seeing a lot of success on that. So we're just going to showcase what we're doing.
Okay.
And by the way, BLT is building leadership team.
Ooh, thank you.
Although
I know you
Shelley's-
got, I know
in
Mike
Shelley's
was getting
case, it's a
hungry.
PSF.
Every time I hear about it, I'm just like.
Oh, we're having a sandwich meeting tonight. Oh, good.
Here are our three goals for our school improvement plan. You've seen this before, but just to ground you back in the work, we're looking at increasing our data by 15% for attendance. We're looking at getting the ninth graders wrapped from the bottom so that by the time they're seniors, they are on track for graduation and staying on track. So kind of putting some systems in place to help support the freshmen when they're coming over, and a little squirrely with realizing how important Core 24 is, and then increasing our Smarter Balanced assessment scores for all test takers by 10% this spring.
Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
What do you mean attendance data? What is it that's going to increase by 15%?
Attendance.
The actual
Them
attendance
being
is going to
here.
improve
Yes.
by,
Yes,
okay.
yeah. And then
Make it 100.
we're going to get there. Yeah. We have one student who has perfect attendance for all school year, but I'm going to not take away that. I'm going to let Shelly talk about it.
Well, and be careful about jinxing.
Oh, yeah. He's a shining star, so
Okay.
yeah. You ready, Shelly?
All right. So, so what we wanted to do is increase attendance by 15% and by the end of the 2023-24 school year. So we just wanted to show you what attendance was like before COVID. And so in the blue, and then the red was during COVID, and then coming out of COVID. So we had good attendance, like 75% before COVID, then it dropped, and now it's coming back up.
And let me make sure I understand this. So this is students with less than two absences per month. So this is your chronic absences.
No, these are the good attendance kids.
These are the good attendance.
Right,
Yeah.
right, got it. But these are the ones that have not missed more than two. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So And this slide is just kind of a slide that we can skip through. So, as of November, only 14.45% of students were chronic in their absence. And in December, it increased and it's still on the incline. So they're going in the wrong direction. So next slide.
But
know
you're
why?
at 18% where we in COVID had somewhere like 45 or 50%, right?
Yeah.
So you've made huge
Yeah.
growth.
So 14.45. So we're juggling numbers to see where we can be. And so the next slide. And so 17.15% is where FHS was in December, and then a little bit higher in January.
Do we know why?
Winter blues.
Yeah,
We're thinking that thing.
yeah.
Winter blues.
Yep.
So some of these, could you track them all the way back to elementary and middle school? Are some of them the same kids?
Yes. And Sue's been working really, really hard to get truancy with Tom's support to file truancy paperwork and get some of these students back and re-engaged. And I think that that's why even though the numbers are steadily, or not even steadily, mutely climbing, they're not where they have been previously because of all that proactive work that we're doing.
I think we talked about this once, or somebody asked this question. Where do kids who might have chronic health problems fit into this? Or they have to go to the doctor once a week, or they're sick for a week. How does that factor into our percentages?
That's a good question.
They still count in the
Yeah.
chronic truancy, but we don't send them to court if we
No.
know that they've got chronic health issues.
The families are excusing it.
Yeah, we have a family at the elementary school where they're getting citizenship and have been working, and they have to take the little kids. I mean, when we know what's going on, that's different than just not showing up and nobody's contacting us and we can't find the kids.
I think, so.
So how do
you're
we get
asking
raw?
Are
Go
you
ahead.
asking them if they're excluded from here, the ones that are excused?
Yeah, well, I'm wondering why.
They're not.
Yeah.
There's- I guess there's no way to do that,
No
or,
matter if they're
Yeah.
excused or not
Exactly.
excused.
So
have
so
you
it
looked
might
at
not
those
be as
numbers?
bad as,
No.
Yeah.
okay.
So as a BLT team, we decided to come up with a plan, and advisors will identify students with more than 2 absences a month, and then make a copy of a call log, and then make some calls. So there was calls that went out today, this morning and this afternoon, and there's a call sheet, and then they'll input it into a log and see where we come from today to the end of this month.
And the purpose behind those personalized calls is just like, hey, we miss you.
Mhm.
We're worried about you. We hope to see you soon. Come back to school.
You get mostly answer machines, or is it?
Today, it was a mix, and a lot, there were some full voice boxes, but I have Maren working on how to figure out how to individualize text messages to certain kids. So she's working on figuring out that system. So if your son was absent, we could just say, hey, or send that personal message. We're working on figuring out.
Because sometimes I think they just say, oh, it's school.
Yeah.
They just don't answer.
I've been using *67. It still works for those of you that remember it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So I've been using *67 on my cell phone. It doesn't work off there. So I block in numbers and touch across and then go get people to answer like that. Use numbers,
What's *67?
blocks numbers.
Really?
Yeah.
So if one
Every
comes,
teenage girl does. Yeah.
We used to know that.
Yeah.
Back when we had flip phones.
Did you know that?
So
Girls do it. No, yeah, it's a girl thing.
I didn't know that.
So at our retreat, we decided what can we do to celebrate an incentive for excellent attendance, and students with 5 or less absences for first semester will earn a formal invitation for to catered dinner by myself and the team. And so we sent out RSVPs and we're getting them back. And so that will happen on the 20th at 5 p.m. in the Commons.
How
So,
many you have so far?
How many did we send out?
we sent 68
Holy
invitations
cow.
out. So yeah,
16.
Wow.
yeah, I had 5
What are you
applicants.
gonna cook them?
We're gonna have the theme is Italian. So
Spaghetti.
yeah.
Tiramisu.
Yeah. So we have a menu that my TA created. So yeah, so we're gonna go off of that.
So
That's a good
we're gonna pay for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
boarded.
You know, I was gonna
Attendance
say, I
guy?
think every meeting this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys are the best
Enjoy.
offenders ever.
Yeah. So come enjoy. Come and see how great kids are, and then ask them some questions about attendance. What makes them come to school? What?
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
This is definitely gonna help. Maybe those that aren't
Yeah.
coming.
The ones that just missed it by one, they're like, oh, that
Yeah.
way. And we're gonna offer this again second semester, and we were telling students about it too. So we realized that we weren't doing enough incentives for students. It was more, we're gonna focus on what's not going well instead of what they are doing right. If we keep showcasing that, highlighting it, it's gonna help improve their desire to be here.
Throw my bones. So this is just an example of the call log, and so you can skip this one.
No, don't skip.
Okay.
All right.
My turn.
I can't read mine.
Do you want to see? So then our second goal is at keeping students on track to graduation, starting in 9th grade, but keeping them on track. So we've got the data from before COVID, 9th graders on track, and then spring 2022, spring 2023. So before COVID, 77.5% of 9th graders were on track. And then after COVID, it went down 22%. So we're coming back up. And then, so all the things that we're doing, the first major incentive we did this year was called Standing on Your Business Day. Standing on your business is what kids are saying, like taking care of business. So we did an incentive and we surprised them right before second semester. We said everybody who's passing all their classes gets to take a 2-hour break from class and do something fun. And so you can actually go to the next slide. So it's also Academic Support Day. So if they weren't passing their class, they got 2 hours of study hall with math teachers, with English teachers right before the end of the semester so that they could get pushed over and not be failing those classes. But the students that were passing all of their classes got to choose between a board game room, an open gym, bowling, or Taylor Swift friendship bracelet making. But it was a surprise. They had no idea it was coming, and we said, hey, we're going to do Standing on Your Business Day, and you guys are all passing your classes, and they were really surprised. So then the next slide shows the top one, the number of Fs on the top red line, the day before we announced it. And actually the next slide kind of shows it more clearer. We had 387 Fs in the whole school. And then the next day that we announced this, we had 273 Fs. So it went down 111 with that incentive. And then by the time the semester came and went, it went from 387 Fs to 159 in a little less than 2 weeks. So now they start getting this idea, oh, wow, they're going to start treating us to things. Like we surprised them that time. And then we did let more kids join, like that had gotten rid of their Fs, that had started passing their classes. So they enjoyed that. What else?
And why it's called.
Why it's called Standing on Business? Oh yeah. So I mean, I feel like you guys probably all watch football, but Seahawks started doing Standing on Business too, and they started doing American Sign Language, so that you could ask a student, hey, how do you say standing on new business in sign language? And all of our students know how to do it. Because when he got, I don't watch football, but when he got his, DK Metcalf, I don't even know who it is. I just make the memes.
So how many students is 70% of 9th graders? Or what's
There's
30?
71.
71,
Yeah.
so 49 kids are not on track.
34.
Okay,
Or excuse me, 32. 32
that's a lot.
freshmen received personal phone calls from Marin and Jim this morning, inviting them to our spring conference, which is going to be Wednesday. from 5:30 to 6. We're going to do it arena style. That's one of the things that Tammy's going to talk to you about. So trying to figure out a way to re-engage those students. The agenda will be, we're going to tell your students on the track for graduation. Let's create a plan on how to do it. Get them signed up for summer school. Introduce them to academic support, which we have 5 days a week in the morning after school. And on Thursdays now, we even have an evening one hosted by Ms. Vanderveer. So students can come in, get it. They can come in after practices. They can come in and get what they need. And try to get families to commit their student to certain times to help wrap the kids from, like I said, from the bottom all the way up to the top. I've been proactive too. I've spoken to 1/3 of the 8th graders in PNW and reviewed Core 24 with them. I asked them, how many classes do you have, or how many years of high school do you have? 4. How many classes do you take at the high school? I'm not sure. Okay, it's 6. Well, what 6 times 4? 24. Every class that you take at the high school matters. The first one that you were taking that counts for graduation is this PNW class right now. If you don't pass it, I have to take away one of your electives and put you in a class for retrieval so that way you can get caught back up. So just being proactive from the ground up, hoping it trickles up.
And so this meeting you're having,
Wednesday from 5 to
and
6:30.
it's for parents and students,
Families and students that are not on track for graduation right now.
and that's what you've all invited them.
Mm-hmm.
And you required an RSVP?
Mm-hmm.
No?
So that was for the attendance.
Where's it gonna be?
Common.
Just giving personalized invitations so that they put kind of it's more than just an automated
Right,
conversation coming out.
okay. And will there be exchange of,
Yeah.
so it'll be a conversation?
Yeah.
They'll have a
Y'all won't
conversation.
be lecturing them necessarily?
No, a conversation with the parents, with the advisors, with the subject teachers, with the summer
Okay,
school.
so that was, you said it was an arena?
Yeah,
So it's not, they're all in a group and you're up on the podium,
no.
there'll be tables and,
Uh-huh.
oh,
So
I got you.
I come in, I go to my
Yeah,
child's
gotcha.
advisor, and then after I get the packet and the spiel from the child's advisor, then I can go and meet with all my child's teachers
Oh,
and
okay,
get they're in the process of getting missing work available for that night, copies of their syllabus for that night. They're printing off progress reports that are current because April 11th is 17 school days away, and that's the end of Q3. So getting that ready.
and so all the teachers will come prepared for each student that's been invited.
Yes.
How many
That's-
seniors are on track to graduate? All of them or some of them?
There are 50, and that means that there are, you ready? 23 of them are at risk at this point in time. Yes.
So this program you got now is new,
Yes.
because if you implement this now, there shouldn't be any surprises.
kids not on track?
The other thing that I've done,
Right there.
yeah, the other thing I've done is I've met with every single senior and gave them their data. Shannon, what was the text that you got from your son? Did he send it to you?
He was on track.
Yeah.
He sent me a text that you ordered his diploma.
So I had a little spiel to make sure that I didn't forget it, and I had the conversation with every single senior. You're on track for graduation, or I'm so sorry, you're not on track for graduation, and I highlighted the word yet. And I said, now this is up to us to create the plan. ASVAB just happens in a second. Some of them are missing because of their assessments. They haven't passed ASVAB, they haven't passed the SBA or the SAT. So once I get that data back from ASVAB, I just got it today, I'll be able to do the data to see who is there and who's not yet, based on that test.
There's a total of 61 with Running Start. So I gave Brenda the brick and mortar, or the ones who are here in the high school.
Yeah.
So that's really 23 out of 61.
And are all the Running Start kids on track?
There are 6 of them that are at risk.
Well, even the Running Start ones?
Yes, 6 of them are at risk.
You had that conversation with the college? yet?
No, they're
Yes,
supposed to
we
be
did
the
have that
Yeah.
conversation.
elite of
with
the
the
elite.
college.
So maybe they shouldn't be in Running Start.
We're doing what we can to support the kids to make sure that they don't fall through the cracks. Because we'll look at them.
Because the college is letting them fall through the cracks.
There's somebody's baby when we look
It's
at
a
them, and we
business,
just want
they
to make
just
sure
want to
that we take care of our kids.
But they're supposed to be responsible.
Timmy, I don't know what I missed. I just took over.
No, it's okay. So we're starting new things, making a change in the way that we do credit recovery. So when ninth graders fail a lot of classes their first semester, they're going right into credit recovery instead of just continuing on and then worrying about that junior year. We're going to stop that right away and make sure that they're doing the recovery. Same thing with seniors who failed the first semester were also put into credit recovery right away. Then also, this is what Brenda was describing, that she met with all the families and students of seniors. She told them on May 30th, I'm going to tell you whether you're walking on graduation or not. We're not going to wait till the week before graduation. We're going to know you're walking because May 30th is the day that you are going to be ready to graduate. And then the next one is spring conferences.
And that's a new thing this year. So
Spring conference.
no, the May 30 date.
As opposed to like the night before, trying to get people in
Yeah.
hours before.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that's almost too late. I mean, that's only a week or so.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Deanna said she can order diplomas on May 30th. They might not be able to pick them up till the fall, but that's the last date that she can order diplomas for this year's graduating students.
How are the kids feeling about that?
You can see a sense of urgency now. The majority of them have re-engaged and are trying harder.
I think once they see that shift, these juniors this year are gonna be like, man, I better get my business in order. Like,
Go to summer school.
yeah, my
Summer school.
Well, just the fact that you're dealing with this earlier than June.
But I made it.
Is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I have juniors that are already asking me to do their credit audit for them. So they're hearing this talk amongst the senior class and they're starting to like feel a little bit of pressure for
Well,
themselves.
Maybe you need to move some of these senior discussions,
Mhm.
down to those junior.
And that's our plan with this arena style spring meeting too.
Really teaching the parents to the students and the parents, this is how you graduate. You core 24, these assessments will have their test scores, will have their iReady scores that show how they're going to do on the test. And so just having the whole family know this is the plan for graduation. Let's all make a plan to get this done.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the next one, is the spring conferences to support on track for graduation. We'll do that. And then Brenda mentioned that she went down to the middle school and talked to the 8th graders, making sure that they're going to pass their PNWs so that they can start on track.
PNW.
PNW history, it's a high school credit that they have to take in middle school.
About
So
Washington,
Pacific
right?
Northwest.
yeah, yep.
So how did that go?
It went well.
Did they respond or were they typical 8th graders?
No, they responded. I think it's because they knew me as the assistant principal last year. So there was already like, okay, I'm gonna listen to what she says. And then I gave them a deadline. And I think it was Q3 for them with Scott Burton. I said, hey, how long do you think it'll take you to get this done? He says less than a quarter. And then I'm like, perfect. This is a perfect incentive for you to work hard, get it done, and then go back to your elective. So I'll know more on April 11th what the results of that conversation were.
Okay.
And then we are working on Character Strong with our students in advisory, and it's just about building their emotions, building their own motivation. So we just kind of put that as one more thing to push for on-track graduation. And then the final thing was the Stand on Your Business Day. So this is the spring conferences. We're focusing on academics, discipline, attendance, and on track for graduation. But I think that's pretty much everything for on-track graduation rate, if you want to go through the slides.
This is good news.
We're doing a lot, but we're starting it, so yeah. Okay.
The staff is working really hard to make great things happen. That's been my phrase all year long. Make great things happen. Stand up, show up, do it, and they are. I'm really blessed to have them.
Go to the one that says SBA, please. Thank you. Okay, early in the year, we started talking about the Tulare sentence stems that they kind of plug state standards into how we can, or like sentence frames and stuff like that, that we can use in our classes with any book or most math assignments. So most of our PLCs kind of started working with that. And then in January, we, at a teachers meeting, gave the staff practice with the SBA. So every staff member took a practice smarter balance assessment, and they looked at what the questions were asking them for English. And then again for math, it just kind of clicked through, but really wrapped around what the questions were asking them. And then 2 weeks ago in advisory classes, we did that with our students. And they had like a worksheet they could fill out to mark down questions and phrases they didn't quite understand, so that we can build that practice and kind of alleviate some of that test taking struggle where, you know, if a student gets started and they're like, oh, I don't know it, so they quit. We want to build that endurance, I guess. And then we're working on the interim assessment. We have all the information together. I think we're going to get together this week. I have a group of teachers who are interested, so we're all just going to work together and give that to our students. And then that gives us actual data as far as where the students are struggling, so we can build support that supports them when they take the SBA.
Another thing too is shifting the focus, that the Smarter Balance is only for English teachers, or if it's only for math teachers. Shelley, do you want to showcase what you've done using those stems?
Yeah, so this year I took time to learn a lot about the SBA, and went in and found vocabulary words that pertain to where they're at right now, where they should be. And so while I was gone at conference last week, they watched the movie, took notes, and did a few other things. And then today when we got back, I handed them out a paper that so they could write an article, and they had to choose 5 of those vocab words that were SBA standard vocab words that they could add, that they needed to add into the writing. So as a culinary teacher, you know, trying to up the ante a little bit into their work.
And the more they see those words in different areas, more it'll hopefully help like and make sense to them.
So recognizing that we're all teachers of content, not just, okay, it's the ELA test, that's for the English teachers. It's a math test, that's for a math teacher. We're all teachers of kids.
Okay.
Okay, you have any questions first?
Was it?
Yeah,
Was it more slide?
there's one more slide, but it was what I showed the staff before. Oh, the discipline. Okay, yeah, the discipline.
I was listening to this. Okay. So it's not quite in our school improvement goal, but then we realized that it just ties into all the school improvement goals and attendance and on track, and at SBA. So we're really focusing on trying to close any gaps with discipline, having the whole staff work together on trying to figure out what the discipline team needs to do to make the teachers feel heard. So we've been, you know, just overall this year, we've just been having so much professional development on discipline, on classroom management. And so we will be offering a book study, classroom behavior manual, and then we're also going to do another incentive. So we had incentive for being on track. We are having an incentive for attendance, and then we're looking at an incentive for good discipline, so good behavior. And so we haven't figured out what it's going to be yet, but looking at those options, field trip to the beach, park, Solduck, or Nature Bridge, so that just building that incentive, we're going to start treating you right if you're doing right, as opposed to just always punishing.
And if I have March 25th on there for the review of discipline, I realized that I really need to do that on the Monday that we have our staff meetings on Mondays. To get, I researched when was the best time to have meetings, and they said Mondays, so I just did it. But the first Monday after spring break, that's when we're going to review the discipline, just kind of reset us and grab us back in the work. So that March 25th is incorrect. It's April 8th. Yeah.
So all the kids that have been good
Yeah.
will get to do
Yes.
that type of field trip.
We have to reward them. Yeah. Remember Brady and Jack, 6th grade?
They went to Hot Springs,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, reward. This right here, it just takes one to make it happen. We showed the video at the beginning of the staff meeting, because we also shared this with our staff after our BLT retreat, and it was the picture of the lone guy dancing, and he's dancing freely, and then somebody else comes up and stands next to him and starts dancing next to him, and then pretty soon 4 more jump in. So that's what this means. It just takes one to make it happen, and then people will follow. So that's what that piece is right there. Yeah.
You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
encouraging. Good job.
So we need to have you back before the end of school and see how we ended up.
Yeah, we'll get our data back from Smarter Balance. I think what day did we say that we're going to do math? Our math test.
May 15?
15.
14,
So,
14, 15?
and then the week after is we're going to do math first this year to try to prevent test exhaustion. And then we're going to go into ELA and then science. So we'll have that data back the last week of May from our testing to see whether or not all of these preventive measures have helped support students. And then we're going to do another BLT retreat to look at the data with our Washington State Improvement Framework. Did I get that right? And look at that data on OSPI to start planning our goals for next year. So
maybe in June sometime, might be when you guys are all wound down from closing out school.
Yeah.
So you guys are invited to Wednesday to our Arena Style conference, and then next Wednesday to the dinner. So come and see kids on different spectrums.
I can send you a calendar invite.
Send that account to me.
Thank you all for your hard work.
Thank
and,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just working together and relying on one another. I know that many of you are in different roles or doing different things this year, but thank you very much. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks.
I couldn't do it without this. It's just me. I'm very.
You have a great group.
Who else is on your BLT?
Jason, Richard, Berlinda, James, and Elizabeth Keith. So that makes up the full team.
And thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. That was great. We expect good thing now.
Great things.
All right. Moving on to our consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt our consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda.
Second.
I'll second.
So Josh Goki's back.
Josh Goki is back.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a full time.
Mhm.
I knew he was 7 to 7.
Okay. Any
So-
questions?
On the new vehicles, then we're, auctioning or whatever we're doing. We're gonna auction off a couple rigs. We're gonna
Uh-huh.
appreciate them out.
We will probably surplus
auction.
them and auction them off. Yeah, the vans. They need to go.
So are they, I was a little confused. Is only one of them all-wheel drive or all of them are all-wheel drive or none of them are?
The current ones,
No, the new one.
the new ones, I believe, are all-wheel drive.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
at least one was, but that was what. was
Both of them. They're the same. Both of them
Okay.
are the same. Mhm.
All right.
And this will allow us for smaller teams to be able to, where the coaches can drive. They'll give us some flexibility. Yeah.
DCDL.
Mhm. And they're safe. Those vans that really need to go.
We had that discussion.
Yeah.
We're all in
Time to
agreement.
upgrade.
We're all in agreement.
Yes.
Any
I
other-
actually had on my board member report to ask about new vans.
Oh, good.
So
I had some notes, so
what's the expected delivery? Couple months? I mean, because they're not off the lot, right?
No, I am not sure, to be honest. It's probably a couple of months,
So-
maybe summertime.
Maybe next year
Yeah.
we get to use them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The coaches or anyone who drives them won't, because they carry, I believe they carry 9 passengers or 8.
9 with the driver.
9 with the
10.
driver. Yeah, they have to do a little bit more training, but it'll be okay.
All right. Any other questions about it?
I had a question on this MASH deal.
Mhm.
So down here on page 2, when it's saying $1,250 a week for full-time equivalent student up to 15 weeks. And down here at like E, if any, once that money's burned up on that student, the district is responsible for any additional cost.
So,
Is that just an open?
no, and they put the time frame in there because that's what they believe we will need for transitioning this student. So we have a new high need student from Port Angeles. And so the MASH team has worked really closely with the Port Angeles team and is now working with our team to make sure that they can transition for the behaviors. Because anytime you change a student setting, it's usually pretty disruptive to that educational environment for the kid. Elena's had some, this is specifically for another student. So when we get to that point, we should be okay. They projected about how much time. And then if we would need them longer, we would really need to do a contract. We'll monitor that dollar amount.
And this is just for one student?
It's a holistic program. They come and work with the teachers, they observe the students, they provide counseling, they provide support for the family to connect them to services. They do a lot to make sure the whole child is taken care of. And then they slowly, give us more responsibility because they're giving us more training. And so they provided professional development for our staff, our parent educators who work with the student. So it's not just benefiting that student because our teaching team is getting more skills to work with all kids.
Gotcha. We done this before?
Yeah, Elena has worked with a team. It was on a smaller scale with several students. I think you're still working with a team right now with one of the students over there, but and it really is the wave of the future with when we're seeing such different kinds of needs of students for behavior, where you get specialists who really know the science and working with the kids.
And the funding for this comes from state?
It comes from our special ed funding. And so you may have noticed in the news that the legislators only fund up to this year, we're funding, 14%. They're raising it to 15%, which means that they're funding 15% of our population of special ed. But I believe our overall with Insight and QVSD, we're at 19%. So some of this is unfunded and we would pay for it out of local dollars.
Some of, not just individual students. It's
Well,
covered,
I mean,
right?
when you
But-
look at the whole pot, we're not
Right.
fully funded.
Okay. Statewide.
Mhm.
Okay.
And every student isn't created equally.
Nope.
So one student may cost more than another student. This is a good example of that.
All right.
I had a question. The
For it.
mobile vision clinic, is this new?
This is new. Our nurse, Erin Hendrickson, found, I don't know how she found this partner, but they're going to come in and then help.
That's great.
I know, help us assess
So it's
kids.
like, I don't remember this before.
No, it's brand new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. I'd like to hear how this goes. I'll let you know. Okay.
They're anxious to come out here.
Can I come?
Yeah.
You can.
See how my cataracts are
It's a
doing?
nonprofit organization, so they come in and do it for free.
It looks like they bill, right, Medicaid
Yeah.
or,
Medicaid.
if somebody has insurance or
Mhm.
whatever, like they'll bill their insurance, but
Well, at least they come, because it's, they come to you though, that's.
Mhm.
So that way a student might be able to find out what, you might not even know you before.
Exactly, and we are required to screen in 5th grade. You know this better than
Yeah,
me.
we do 5th and 8th grade.
5th and 8th grade.
We do that
At the
now?
middle school, I don't know what the other grade.
Yeah, I
is,
think
but
there's
yeah, they
another
already
grade
have
level
their
at the
screening.
elementary, but nothing at the high
The
school.
problem is, once you screen them, the follow-up is, that
At their
access to the
expense.
follow-up is not easy. And so having this.
Who does the screening?
Erin does them.
Okay, so they stand in the hall and they read the chart down the hall kind
No,
of
they
thing?
have the new machine that was bought,
About 3 years ago.
that does a real quick screener, the kid looks in there and then they just do their test.
Kind of like a driver's license.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
It scans their eye. I think that's what it does.
maybe looking for
I don't
other
know,
problems.
but I should try it.
It's a good opportunity for kids and will definitely help our nurse.
Okay, anything else anybody wants to talk about? On that? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor of tonight's consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It is consented. Reports. Diana,
Just inviting everyone and the public, for anyone who's watching this, to our annual Clay Valley Scholarship Auction this Saturday and Sunday in the Commons. It starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday. It goes till 8 p.m. and then starts again at 10 a.m. on Sunday. It is our 60th anniversary. I can't even believe that.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
60 years.
that's pretty cool.
That is really cool. And you're starting to see some items come in.
Yeah.
I just saw those senior shirts. They're really pretty cool. They've got big 60th emblem on them and everything. So come on out and join the fun.
Yeah. Okay. And it's
And somebody
appreciated.
said they were bringing halibut or something and having a halibut.
Senior parents are.
Ooh.
Senior
We're
day.
gonna. do
How much
fish
is
and
that?
chips. $15 a plate
Ooh.
for fish and chips.
Yeah. Halibut, that's good.
Bob
Yeah.
Ball sent a bunch back from Alaska when he went up there this summer.
Oh, awesome.
We
I
hope
hope it's a bunch, because I like a bunch.
we hope it's a hit.
Well, I don't think there'll be any left by 10 a.m. Okay. And it's appreciation of classified sport this week.
Yeah, the governor has announced that this is the official week for appreciation of classified support staff. And so we really could not deliver the services to all of our kids without our cafeteria workers, our maintenance, custodial staff, support staff like our nurse, librarians, prevention specialists, administrative assistants, our instructional paraeducators, our technology team. Thank you, Nathan. Instructional paraeducators and any of our specialists. So we really have.
A district office.
And
They're
district office.
kind of the
Well,
same
they're not
boat.
in the, yeah.
No, but we appreciate them anyway.
But anyway, so thanks to all of our staff who make it happen for our kids. We really could not do it without them.
You'll take that back to your buildings?
Sure will.
All right.
Activities for them all week.
What's that?
We have activities to show appreciation.
Oh, you do?
All week.
Like what?
They had a soup today and they're gonna have like, pizza and breakfast. I can't remember.
Oh, pizza for breakfast is good.
Breakfast.
The elementary school honored theirs last week. I'm not really
Oh.
sure why, but they did theirs last week.
Okay.
We're taking care of ours too. There might be some leftover cookies in there.
Oh.
Don't tell them.
I said,
I'll be in there.
All right, thanks, y'all. All right, board members, anything to report? Anybody?
How's Ralph doing? Pretty good.
Doing okay. He's still doing
He's not back
treatment.
yet,
No. I think
he
he was
retired?
back in Squim.
Or
No.
he thinks he's gonna come back?
Yeah, he thinks he's gonna come back.
A1.
Yep.
He probably will too. Any other staff that needs
And when does
support
soccer-
from us?
When soccer start?
It starts.
Started.
It started,
Oh, it did.
their first,
First game is
First
Saturday.
meet.
here, right?
I think so.
Or was it in Hope or Aberdeen?
Maybe it's on my calendar. But the first game is Saturday.
It's this Saturday.
Our boys are playing baseball tonight in,
The gym?
no,
Swim.
it's swim.
Oh,
Girls had a jamboree, but it got canceled on Saturday. And their first home game is Wednesday.
Oh, is that Hopeland?
Out
I
at,
hope-
and Beaver? Is that what they're
Beaver,
gonna play?
yeah.
How do I thought the other teams didn't like grass infields,
Well,
but they gotta if they wanna play us.
yeah. And the park here, the fields are too bad.
Yeah, imagine, especially today.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
track starts Thursday. Their first meet is away.
On
Sounds like they have
Thursday?
a lot of people out for track.
Not as many last year.
Oh,
but
really?
I think
I heard
so.
there's quite a few.
Soccer, I think, had over 30 kids. And
Yeah, I've seen them out
had a
there.
huge number, but
Where
I think
do-
their first day of practice, everybody had snow and it's been a
Where does the
That's
track
fun to
team
play in,
go?
so.
Napa line
Which is that? What was the question about Napa Line?
track,
Track
Yeah.
goes to Napa.
On
Line.
Thursday? Oh,
their first track meet. So they've only been able to practice outside a few days.
what? You can run in the rain.
We
Yeah.
can't throw.
It's slippery.
Yeah. kind of
Well, that's
slippery.
what we have a gym for.
Yeah. I got a couple
Go.
things.
Yeah.
So along with ordinary vans, which I was gonna ask about, what about the carts? One of those I wouldn't want to ride in anymore, but that's one.
Is that the blue one?
The gold one.
The gold
The one
one?
that
The
makes
gold
a sound.
That one's been around as long as I have.
Plonks down the road.
We have not ordered new cars,
Well, I know, but
but
I'm
we
just
can
asking.
look into that for next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
They should be, you guys should be safe. I'm sure they are, but
Okay.
they're
So I'm
getting.
thinking on Wednesday.
What's
that,
that?
Driva?
I said, I hope they're safe.
Oh,
Yeah. No, they are getting old. The other one, there's a new app for Quileute Valley School District that I seen, that I downloaded on my iPhone.
Mhm.
Have you seen it?
I have it.
Yeah, I got it on there. I don't know. Yeah, so, because I've heard some stuff on our website when they're gonna improve it and update it and this and that, so I think they're going that way, right?
We're
Well,
starting.
it
to-
seems to be a little better. I was
Yeah,
able to
I've
find
had
things like
Community
schedules a
people
little bit.
saying things, they can't find things,
Right.
get on it, and I say, well, you just be patient. Get on there and look.
We're moving things as we
Yeah.
learn about them, like the calendars now you can find it easily. Yeah.
I looked on the staff, because I couldn't remember what Hazel's extension was. So I looked on the staff thing those names aren't in alphabetical order. Or they seem to start out in but then it's the first name alphabetical, not the last name. It just seemed kind of a hodgepodge. It would be more helpful to me. And I bet there's one or two other people that are nuts like me who would appreciate alphabetical order.
It alphabetized them by the first name.
Oh,
Wow, and my name
But-
is misspelled.
but you weren't even in there, Hazel.
I don't think it's been updated yet.
Plus, there weren't any extensions,
Okay.
but that might be fun. I don't know I don't want to put that on your plate, but Nathan, that would be fun.
We'll work on that tomorrow.
No.
Okay.
Goes to the top right for you.
Yeah, right away.
But no, I mean, I'm glad it's moving forward. It's good. The app I went through it and looked at it. And
What does the app do?
It just gets you on.
page?
It has
Shows you, like-
news and it has calendar and it has
Has a calendar, like-
events that are coming up, like our school board meetings are on there.
Well, who does that?
It's
Not
all
sure.
a part of the package.
Package that we.
It all fits in. So, I will just tell you that one of the things that we learned, we went to the WASPA conference, Kyle, Lindsay, Hazel and I, and we had a guest speaker who was fabulous. And he talked about characteristics of the different generations. It really made my eyes open up about baby boomers always going to work, always showing up. And when you're looking at different generations, that might not be the culture or the norm of that generation. But one of the key ingredients is how people communicate. A high school kid does not want to communicate via email. They want a short text or a Snapchat or something similar
Right.
to that. And so us moving to ThrillShare, I can send out a message and it can go out in a text message, an email, a voice message, in multiple ways, just in one.
Just by hitting send, you
Mhm.
can do all those different,
Mhm.
wow.
And it goes, and so I would get all those different approaches, or if I were identified as a Gen Z, I'd get it in a certain way.
Well, that might be the wave of the future with artificial intelligence coming. Yeah, but it was really eye-opening, to hear that presentation and then think about what we're trying to do with our communication process.
Yeah.
Is it under Cooley Valley or High Forks High School?
Cooley Valley High School or school, and then they'll pop up your app and then that one. The last thing I have, and I think this has been discussed before, but it would, at our gym, you know how tight it is for the players and the bench and the court. Is there a way we could take a couple rows off so people could walk behind it? No one sits in those first 2 rows anyway. Is there some way we could get rid of them? And if you go to like different gyms, they always have that area down there where they can put the score bench right up on the court, and then the seats on each side of them. And then there's room to walk behind them instead of people going always in front.
You know, we had that discussion when
I know
when we built that
it, I
thing.
think, but I know it's come up, but
If you
I
put
don't
up
know.
2, do you have, will the steps still work?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is there something we could look into with some kind of adjustment that we can go back or do something where it's a little bit more? Because no one sits in those seats anyway.
Yeah, I don't know with the staircase how that
I know, it
will-
might have to be new ones. I don't know. I'm just saying that if there's some way we could look into it and just see if there's some adjustments or if someone has something.
I'll talk to Bill about it.
I was just at the Tumwater High School and they had theirs kind of moved in.
Mhm.
And so at the bottom, they had like a step, an exercise step or something, it looked like. And so you had to step on the step to get back onto the stairs.
Mhm.
So otherwise it would have been a
Big one, yeah.
so-
But it would be nice. I mean, and I know we've talked about it before, but
Seems like we discussed that in the design of it too, but
and why we didn't do it, I can't remember.
I don't,
Too long ago, Bill.
expensive. You know, you have to adjust the size of either the stand
No,
or the
you
size
just-
of the
you just-
gym.
You just
Yeah,
cut back how many rows there is
Right.
and it will come down normal
right.
instead. And
And
I
I
don't know if
know,
you take the 2 back ones off and push it back,
That
That
seems
might
like
work.
That's what you have to do.
that would you
Chop
have
back
to
off.
do and then push it forward,
yeah,
you know. So, I mean, it's something to look into. I mean, I'm
We'll
sure
look
they
into
could
it.
come up with something.
Bill under there with his welding.
Yeah, yeah, the welders, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
All right.
anyway,
Yeah, good one. Anything else? Anybody?
I did. Today, just listened to the radio and they were talking about cybersecurity insurance. So the ransomware thing is still a big deal. And they were saying school districts around the country have been hit with it.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean,
We have cybersecurity
you have
insurance. Yeah.
But that doesn't help you unless they ransom you, right? Because they can still cut you off. So what they do is they
Oh,
shut your
yeah, that-
systems down.
Your
Your
insurance,
insurance doesn't prevent that. It
No.
just
but
pays for
we have best
undamaged-
practices that we're required to do, like know before, did I say that right, Nathan?
yes,
Training,
that's not gonna stop it because it takes one person.
correct, but there are certain things that we have to do in order for us to get insurance, and we're doing it.
Right. But like Bill said, they're not gonna pay the ransom. I don't think.
Yeah, they
Insurance
do.
Insurance company, up
Yeah,
to
they-
how much?
I can find out. I can
Yeah,
get
that'd be
information for
interesting to
you.
know because
Yeah, I mean, if they hit you for $1 million, all of a sudden our rainy day accounts.
you can go higher than that.
6 months ago, they did the Ace Hardware, shut the whole nation down for 8 days.
Right. That makes sense.
Well, we got it. That's good.
There's a $10 million deductible.
It's not fun.
5%, 5%.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Go on to new business. In good faith, 15% apprenticeship for Spartan Stadium Grandstand. Did everybody get a chance to read that?
Yeah.
Um, You want to talk about it, Diana?
No,
or-
just that we got a call from L&I, and when they close out a project, they have a checklist where they go back in to check our records to make sure that we have followed all of the Washington administrative codes. And anytime you have a project over $1 million, you have to show that you have 15% apprentices. Your company that you hire, your contractor has to at least have 15% of the workforce as apprenticeships. And so we were thinking we only needed it for ICI, the civil part that, you know, everything they did, because we didn't hire this company. We purchased the structure through KCDA, which is King County Directors Association, and has a state contract. So it didn't dawn on us that that project's that structure cost over $1 million. And we just thought that was KCDA's responsibility, but it's
Isn't
not,
it?
it's ours.
That seems crazy.
And would it apply to the turf too?
It would have applied to the turf field too.
But they
But it
didn't ever
wasn't-
They
contact.
didn't check. So from now on, if we purchase any other, like the fields for fast pitch and baseball, then we'll have to make sure that that is met.
Will that affect people who bid on our jobs?
No. So what you can do is in good faith. And so what ICI did, they put out for apprentices, but they couldn't find any. And so we documented it, you approved it, and then I just turned that into L&I. So that's what I'm doing here.
So we don't own nothing.
No, but they would have fined us, and I don't know if there's any monetary, you just don't want to be on L&I's list. We know now. But anyway, so you approving this would approve that they're a small company. You saw what the specifics are of why they wouldn't have apprentices.
And that was for the concrete, right?
No, this was for the
Stand?
actual stands,
And
Oh,
because they put the stands up and then ICI did all the electrical, all of the, you know, the foundation, the
yeah,
fencing.
okay. All right. Well, is there a motion then to
I'll make the motion.
send this letter?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to do pay 50% apprenticeship for Spartan Stadium Grant.
Okay, great. Second,
Kevin did.
Kevin did it?
Nope. Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Next, we need a motion to approve the Forks High School course catalog, which I'm assuming is for next year.
24, 25, wow.
Yeah. Just around the corner.
So on some of these courses in there, did they draw the line, you know, when there's only 2 kids wanting to take a class? I mean, it just seems like a waste of instructors.
Mhm.
So what's the minimum?
What's the minimum?
Yeah.
Depends on if it's an AP level class or not. The smallest one that I had for AP was 8. And even that's a small class. Ideally, you want 12 or more students in a classroom. So I'm just trying to work on shifting a culture of students having small classes. Yeah, I'm working on that really diligently. We have a scheduling committee. This is my week. We have a scheduling committee meeting on Thursday from 3:30 to 6 p.m. to start building next year's, you know, master schedule. And then we might even be proposing more electives to get some courses in here that students would be excited to have. I had teachers sit down and do proposals, so I just have to take away. And there's one class that has 2 students in it right now. Like it's a waste of resources, waste of time for the students, because they can't be pushed as quickly as possible. So shifting that. That's one of my focuses.
You're working on it.
I'm working on it. Yeah.
What are you working on?
They're working on it, but when you have smaller class sizes, you just move slower. I did
How's that? I think you go faster.
I would think you would too. I think you, as a teacher, this is my experience when I did a 7:30 in the morning class for some students that needed the English class because of 424. They were ASB leaders. They were missing their art credit, and they couldn't take all of their high academic classes. But I moved slower, and even with those two kids that were high performing, it's the motivation that you have, the drive, because it's small. So you become a little bit too relaxed.
Interesting.
I think that's the way to say it.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Did I get the motion?
Let's see, I
Kevin,
don't
I
have,
don't think so.
No, I don't
I
think
don't
we
have
do.
a
Okay, well, is there a motion to approve the high school catalog for
I'll make a
next year?
motion that we approve the high school course catalog for next year. I'll second.
All right. Well, then, any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It is approved. Old business. Approval of our 24-25 school year calendar. Is there a motion?
The reason this is on here is because we did not have a motion last time, and you approved it, but then when Hazel went back to the video, there wasn't a motion. So she has
My
our
bad.
permission, if we miss something, to say, hey, time out.
You have to start wearing a striped shirt.
Technical. I'll make a motion to approve the 24-25 school year.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. It's motion. Any questions? Any further questions that have come up since the last time we asked for questions? No? All in favor of finally approving the school year calendar for 24-25, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. It is passed. Approved. Number 2, revision of board policy 3205. Sexual harassment of students is prohibited. And along with that, just so you know, it's a review of the procedures. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the revision of board policy 3205, sexual harassment of students.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Can you review what changes were made in that?
So, just a couple of things of why this is here, and you're gonna see us start going through, I shouldn't say a ton, but at least 12 to 15 board policies. And so part of us being getting our insurance with Washington Schools risk management pool is they want you to make sure that your policies are updated, especially the ones that are
Litigable.
yeah, where you get a lot of litigation, and sexual abuse amongst our students, and is on the rise, and they're very high claims when they happen. So I have a list of 10 policies that I'm reviewing. There were none in the student one. We were up to date. We approved it last year, but just so you're in the know and aware of it again. But there's some changes you're going to see in the staff one. But I'm going to be bringing you more. Then, ironically, or maybe not ironically, but Kyle and I attended Title IX training last Sunday in Vancouver, Washington, and the attorney said that as a school board and as superintendent and then with your staff, these are the 10 policies you should look at all the time. And anytime you have an incident that would happen or might happen, you read it, you make sure your building principals read it, you follow the training guidelines, because that's how you get better as a school district in making sure our kids are safe. And so those are 10 are now on my radar for now until the end. And we'll make sure that we're reviewing, we already know there's gonna be some changes in these two policies, as well as some others that are happening right now through legislation. So we might bring them back again and again.
Okay.
That's kind of the background.
Okay.
One of the things that I noted in reviewing that sexual abuse prohibited with staff is we're required as a district to provide age appropriate knowledge of what it is and what it isn't. So I'll give you a great example. In the elementary school, we start with our kids about stranger danger. They have Kelso's Choices and is it not why try second step,
Second step.
and then we build that up through the middle school where more at age appropriately kids know what it is and they know how to report it. That's one of our obligations, and it's done differently at different grade levels, but we want to make sure that the curriculum we use is updated, and again, it gives students the understanding so they know when to report things.
And not to be scared.
Not to be scared about it. Yeah. That was one of my noticing. So we'll be working on that as a staff. And then when you approve board policy, then how we notify our staff that you've made changes is Hazel sends it out through Talent Ed, and then our staff are required to review it. But we'll be doing some, like we're getting ready to update the boundary invasion policy, and we'll be doing some face-to-face training then in buildings. Some will require online training, and then some will require face-to-face trainings.
If a student has sexual harassment at home, what do you do there? Like, they might only tell the teacher.
So if any we're mandatory reporters, any staff member are considered mandatory reporters. And so if there are issues that a student says about an adult, then we have to report it to CPS and or the police. And then I keep a log in my office. Our staff does a great job reporting as mandatory
So it
reporters.
does happen.
Mhm.
Good to know.
All right. We have a motion yet? Opposed, say no. It's revised. Okay, is there a motion to approve the board policy 5011, sexual harassment of staff prohibited?
I'll
Go ahead. You need to go ahead.
Okay, I'll make a motion to
Yeah,
Board policy.
board policy 5011.
5011.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion about that? Same thing implies?
Same thing, yeah.
No changes on this one here either.
There were some changes in the procedure. So what I could figure is that these two policies used to be together where it was students and staff. And so there's just a couple of things left in there like parent and guardian that doesn't make sense. So those were all taken out. Those were all cleaned up.
And Hazel did say that when she sent these out as revisions, that she would highlight what was added.
Yeah, they were in the policies. I
I
and
see
Brad.
that here on this.
They weren't on mine.
Yeah, on the policy, not the,
The
No.
procedure.
I mean, procedure.
Okay, well, I didn't see it on either of mine. Maybe I'm colorblind.
No, it's just in the
It's
5011.
in the
Yeah.
procedures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, she said she'd do that, so I appreciate that. All those in favor then of approving board policy 5011, sexual harassment of staff prohibited, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed to that? Say no. It is approved. And then the last item of old business is a revision of our February 12th regular board meeting minutes. We need to reapprove those. Is there a motion to do so?
I make the motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Is this the one Hazel found? Good job.
Yeah.
Hazel.
Yeah.
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 I was the one responsible for this.
No. You
Well,
found it. Very good.
Yeah,
Just doing your job, right?
not a problem. If that's the worst thing you ever do in your life, you've had a good life. Okay. All those in favor of the revised basic, well, and the revision was the first time didn't have bills in it. So this one includes the bills from that period. So all those in favor of the revision, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. It is revised. Okay. We have any executive stuff tonight?
No executives.
Well, any public comments, Nathan?
Oh, we didn't ask. What's
Well, I will.
inside?
Oh, they left.
No, no.
Okay.
there.
You got, okay, good. Myron, do you have anything? Sorry, I overlooked you.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Sheila, how about you?
Yeah, I did want to share that we had our Promising Practices conference a week or so ago, which was a huge professional development day across the country with tons of workshops and sessions for teachers and really, really great positive feedback on that. So I was excited to just share a little bit about that. We have a couple competitions going on, a game design competition, an art competition where students can win prizes. So fun things to keep everybody engaged. So just a couple of highlights there.
Great, thanks.
Sure.
And I'll try and get you guys in earlier. I always have to be reminded because your pictures are so small on our screen. Okay, well, thank you.
I
And
turned my camera off because I've sat in that room and looked at how large that image is up on the screen. Camera off.
All right, we have nothing in the ether world. And Tom, you got anything you want to add to the glory of all? Okay, well then, we stand adjourned. Go forth and stay dry, stay warm.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Good night.